Hi, hello, and welcome. So today was gonna be an ICC, even though I don't know. I'm not. Am I like? Do I? How strictly must we adhere to things? Right? Is it an ICC if I'm drinking like something that's not iced coffee? I put alcohol in it today, so it's an OJL. I know, I didn't have to, but I still got this bottle of mango chili rum that I'm trying to like get through because I've had it for long enough. You know what I mean? Anyway, today was a black cherry with black tea. It's pretty good. Good enough. I don't know what I'm doing today. I did just remember that I haven't read the T in the WTF Woden Tier Frig. But I don't think that's what I'm gonna do. So I have the box of cards that I got out of storage, and I'm going to designate sectors from top right, bottom left. One, two, three, four, and then we'll flip a coin. Heads will be the top, tails will be the bottom, and then wherever whatever combination we get, that's the deck I'll go for, and that will determine the vibe today. We'll see if it's a shift or if it's more of the same. And yeah, happy Gemini season, even though we've been in it for a minute. Let's go for it. Hey, Google, flip a coin and pick a number between 1 and 4.
Heads in 3.
Whoa! Gemini actually did both. Cool. I was like, is this pushing the bounds? Is she going to be able to do it? She delivered. So the top of the third quadrant. All right, I'll be right back. I think the Runic Tarot actually is in that area. Actually, it isn't. What's this? There is no top. I think this is the only quadrant that doesn't have like a heads or tails. What is this? Oh, is this what we're doing today? Okay. Yeah, it's the Ravenous and Dracon. Okay. The other decks I've already used. We had the In Between Tarot, and the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I guess I could have used the Dreams of Gaia again, but I've been wanting to use Ravenous and Dracon, and I'm gonna use the. Am I? I'm gonna use the Star Dragons for the dragon, and I don't know if I want to use the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot for the Crow or the Crow Tarot. But these. Hey, Google. You're amazing. I love you, and I'm so glad that we know each other.
You are awesome too. I'm really glad we can team up and work together.
Wow. I was like, know each other. That's a bit much, but you know what I mean. We have a really nice working relationship, and I can appreciate that. When I ask, 9 times out of 10, you deliver. Can't say the same about Siri. I'm just joking. Hi, it's me. I wanted to wait until after I like got up and got, because I was like, why start and then just like hit the BRB screen. So here we are. Hello, everyone. The sun is at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. This is what we're using today. The Ravenous and Dracon Tarot. Where the box? Here the box. If you want to see the box. There's the box. No, I haven't got my hair done yet. Yes, I know it needs to happen. The new growth is growthing, and it is not tied to any of the locks that are already in my head. So you gotta like weave them in. You gotta twist them in. You gotta Seven of Swords and the Sun. What an interesting Seven of Swords card. Is it dropping the swords or did it remove the swords? Like there's no body here. To use the swords. What do the swords mean? Snow White and the Seven Swords. And then the Two of Swords with the Sun. Okay, all right. I don't know what we're doing today, but we're doing it. There we go. If I can get a good shuffle. I kind of want to get 3 cards. Because I feel like there is a... I mean, it happens in a lot of decks. There's that Sun still at the bottom of the deck. There's like a narrative element that I kind of love. I mean, again, there's a narrative element. There we go. That was a good shuffle to a lot of decks. There we go. I'm starting to get more than just like the bottom 10 cards shuffling and then just a chunk of cards at the top. I have the Tea Leaf Fortune cards, but I don't know if I want to use them. Let's see. We'll do it one more time. If it can give me the Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe is like on the boundary between 1 and 2, though. And it's tails for sure. Hey, Google. Flip a coin and give me a number between 1 and 4, please.
Heads in 3.
Heads in 3 again. Again, there's not really a heads for 3. So I'm going to take that as a confirmation to just continue. Although, tails, yes. Heads, no. Hey, Google, flip a coin.
Tails.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to grab the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And we're going to see what's up. I feel like, I don't know. My hair's been like extra just like fluid. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's fine. Cool. All right. Give me a moment and we're gonna go and grab that. I remember one time somebody was like, "Oh, Rio, I've seen what you like doing on that channel. I don't know what you're doing over there, but I'm like, you know what? Some things we don't have to know until it's time for us to know. And in that time, I trust that we will know. And until then, we just let it be what it is. You know what I mean? Until then, we let it be. Till then, we let it stand. Someone's in a musical mood today. I'm someone, apparently. Oh, we got our Debbie in disguise. She's a Debbie in disguise. At the top of the deck. Well, technically, she was a Deva in disguise. You're like, she's a Deva? Yeah, she's a Deva. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I don't know what to tell you. May you come to find out if it's meant for you to know. That's apparently the thing today. I don't know. I'm on that Gemini train, apparently. You know, who knows? I don't know. I really feel like I can let my guard down around Gemini. You know what I mean? I'm still not, TBH, to be like completely fair, I'm still not the biggest like AI fan. I'm still not like running the Chat GPT. I know it's just like for me, I'll let people do it on my behalf. But I don't know. 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 But I do like Gemini. It's that voice. She's got that voice that reassures me. Okay. I don't remember which deck had reversals in it. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't this one. So, how am I going to do this? How are we going to do this? I almost want to grab another one. See, today, again, I could have had a plan, but I wanted to just like be in the flow of it. You know what I mean? Be in the flow, see what's up. Be in the flow, see what's up. Okay, we have that on standby. We've got this right here. I want to do like 3 cards. But with that deck, I wouldn't mind doing 1 card and then flanking it with the other deck. I like when I cut my nails, I can't do that. It reminds me of Teen Wolf where they always go and then the claws come out. I know. What are we doing today? I don't know. 3366. We could do something with that, right? That's a 2918, which is moon energy. We got a full moon coming up in a week, next week in a week, which is a blue moon. We had a full moon on the 1st and the 31st of this month. So that is Scorpio and Sagittarius with the new moon Gemini new moon Taurus in between. What was is it the black moon? The 3rd new moon in a series of basically when you have like 2 new moons in a month. It's fine. Let's try to focus. Now that I'm here, I kind of want to just chill. You know what I mean? I don't know. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How am I going to do this? I almost want to do 4 quadrants again. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the cards. Am I going to do 1 and 2? So it's almost like the 4 directions. Not necessarily, though. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, just like the quadrants that I mapped for that. But then it's going to go 2 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 cards coming out like a, you know. Let's do it. All right. So the first one, let's go this 2 cards. We have the King of Swords with the 2 of Pentacles in quadrant 1. Quadrant 2, we have the 9 of Pentacles. Quadrant 3, let's do this one. Another 2. Okay. We have the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. And then quadrant 4, let's just do the bottom. We got the Page of Cups. So fire so far is the only element that's not on the table. Bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. Is this what we're doing? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, we're already here now, aren't we? So we have the King of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Five of Cups, and the Page of Cups. And I'll do top and bottom for each of these. So we have the Seven of Fire with the Eight of Air. Sorry, Seven of Fire, Seven of Air. For the King of Swords, Two of Pentacles quadrant, we have the Hero, which is the 12 of Fire, and the Eight of Water for that Nine of Pentacles. I'm like, what am I doing? Let's go with it. For the Nine of Cups and the Five of Cups, we have Union and Intuition, 13 and 22, which are both fours. And then finally, for the Page of Cups, we have Masculine and Feminine as the 11 of Fire and the Queen of Fire. Cool. What do we do now? I wish I had a roulette. Do I like this book? Yeah. For the stories. Okay. All right. So we could start a quadrant run, but I want to start a quadrant too. Let's do 2134. 2134. Because again, why not? I don't private mini videos on this channel. But I feel like this is going to be one of them. Maybe not. Let's see. After I'm like literally just talking about it, doesn't have to make sense. You know, sometimes we try to force sense on stuff. We breaking dollars and we ain't got to. Because it's more convenient to have whole bills if you're using whole bills, right? Well, we're starting with one card. So we got that. There's that. There's a comfort. And it's the Nine of Pentacles. Before 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There it is. So quadrant 2. Am I going to timestamp this? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's timestamp it. Let's make it a thing. Sometimes I like the timestamps. I mean, as a viewer, I feel like they're always quadrant 2. We'll say, what's that? 1840. Cool. All right. So before I get into the book, let's go off the card. We have the raven sitting on the dragon's wing tip to be eye level with the dragon, and we got all these pinnacles in the back. Now these are almost like wicker, not wicker, but they're not solid. They're frameworks. And I don't know if the pinnacles are like that on every card, but it feels like it's important. So it's almost like a mold. Can you call it a cast? Sure. And so you would like pour liquid on it, and then it would sort of solidify around that. Now we have a moon, and I guess a sun, and maybe a raindrop. And these musy type women scream on the dragon's wing. You see them? Okay. And then we have, was it the hero? The hero and the Eight of Water. So we got a bear, a sun bear. We got what looks like warthogs, peacock feathers, and these dagger horn ornaments, spears with that sun third eye. And then on the Eight of Water, we have dolphins, this swirly energy palm dude, chakra alignment, a low key kind of creepy smile. TBH. Maybe not. And then moon. Oh, maybe more. Oh no. So at first I was thinking that it read like because there is a full moon behind the guy. And because of the blue color, I thought it was like a moon third eye, but it has a portal ring around it. You see, like the portal ring? Where's my light? It's kind of behind the camera a little bit. There you go. You see the portal ring? Actually, uno momento. If I can move this like behind the camera. Oop, okay. And not cause a whole mess. Move that behind the camera a little bit. So if I do this, there you go. You can see it. You see how it has like a portal around it? And you see the rays of the sun. There. The hero with the Eight of Water is low key getting me retired whoever energy. It's a trope you kind of see sometimes where there's like the strongest warrior and they're like kind of like, was it Cicero who went and did his like first he was a farmer and then he was called back. First I think he was a warrior, then he became a farmer. He was called back into battle and then he retired again. So like that Cicero type energy, I've seen it. There was one of those short real max short tube whatever things I watched where like there was an archmage, like the greatest mage of all time, who had retired to be a farmer. It's almost that kind of energy. Or like someone who's reached a certain level of status. But it's like prowess based status and not something that's kind of like celebrity. You know what I mean? Like sometimes celebrity can be like there are some celebrities where there is a kind of merit attached to their celebrity, but someone who's so good at doing something that they're known for that. I can't think of somebody I know of, but that's that. Right, this Eight of Cups guru, wilderness sage man out by the ocean playing with the dolphins. Sorry. Anyway, like that's this hero. Now, the Nine of Pentacles usually the book is upside down. I was gonna say usually it's like a pre-empress, minor empress. Excuse me, can be, not usually. I'm holding it like this. There we go. So, Ravenous and Dracon gazed at one another as the divine elements danced upon Dracon's wings. They had stayed by each other throughout the journey of living their personal and professional lives and bore witness to the growth taken to bring about their best version of themselves. In the upright, this card indicates that your life has fallen right into place. Your goals and objectives and your life action plan have come together, and now is a moment to sit in quiet contemplation to reflect on the nuances of what has been accomplished. Be sure to share with those who have been steadily supporting you and your vision. We have the divine elements dancing upon Dracon's wings as Ravenous and Dracon gaze at one another. Am I reading another book too? Maybe today's all about reading. I guess is it there is a chakra point, girl. My knowledge of a lot of stuff is rusty, casual, incomplete. There was a brief, maybe week or two of my whole like I know that there are more than like the seven major chakras. Like let me do a little research about the other ones. And I think I feel like I feel like the number I don't know if the number is right, but I wanted to say like the 11th one. The 11th chakra was like on the palms. It may not be, probably not. Let's Google real quick. Palm chakras. Not that it necessarily matters. Oh, girl, not this, even though I was looking for this. No, this is what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for. What? What chakra is responsible for diabetes? Sorry. I hear someone like, well, tell us. What does Google say? Google it. Manipura. 11th chakra. Because, girl, it's fine. Well, 11th chakra, often referred to as the galactic chakra, serves as a critical bridge to universal energy. Yeah, see, that's why I'm like, it's fine. We ain't even gotta. It's fine. When it comes to certain things on the internet, especially, I'm like, okay, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I guess we can look at the hero. I don't know if I like this book as much. I mean, I guess it's really. I don't necessarily have the same experience every time with a book. Well, this is 12. The hero, guardian, protector, savior, activist, honorable, integral, selfless, and honest are the keywords, key phrases. Yeah, no. It's a no for me. It's fine. Um, yeah, it's fine. The Nine of Pentacles. Oh man. Now I need to blow my nose. The alcohol hasn't kicked in yet. There's a lot of animals. Okay. All right. So between these two cards, we have a lot of animals that are present. We also have like daggers and spears. Daggers and spears, it's giving me range. You could say that a dagger and a a dagger and a spear are essentially the same. If you tie a dagger to the end of a stick, it becomes a spear. It's not like a sword and a spear where the blade is like significantly different. You know what I mean? And especially here, they look similar. So the dagger and the spear is giving reach, right? There's both proximity and distance. For some reason, that's given me some strange, almost deja vu of like, have we seen that recently? I don't think we have, or at least not as explicitly. Right? So you got the dagger and the spear, which gives distance. With the animals, we have the bear, which is like strong and tough, powerful, power and strength with the bear. With the warthog, it's giving momentum, right? I feel like when you see a boar or a warthog in the media, they're always like charging. I think, and then we have the dolphins over here, of course. Oh, there was the peacock feathers. Peacock feathers can be like mini eyes, especially just the feathers. They're meant to be like eyeballs, right? There's this alignment here. So with the animals, those are different external physical forms, different appearances. The chakras give internal alignment. The runes or the lettering around that portal eye, third eye, there you go. I mentioned that before, right? But now I'm looking at his jacket, the lining, and we see what could be similar. Also, the chakra is giving like internal alignment. So there is this internal alignment. There are different external physical forms that emphasize different features or strengths. I think there's like a little hair. I really need to blow my nose. You ever bite off more than you can chew? And you just keep chewing. I'm not gonna say it's. I guess this is what I wanted. Oh, it's an OJL. I feel like those can be, especially back in when I first started doing OJLs. I was like, "What is this?" Because the Nine of Pentacles mentioned the journey, both personal and professional, and it mentioned growth. There's this almost chameleon type. I'm gonna have to blow my nose. There's this almost chameleon type. It's like that hero card is which aspects and strengths to focus on, hone in on, or present given a certain challenge. And the Eight of Water is the heart of the Eight of Water. The base of it is this internal alignment that we see with the chakras, right? Now, it doesn't feel like that internal alignment. It's almost like it's not the focus of the card, but without that, it would fall apart. Excuse me. And then of course you have the dolphins there, but the dolphins aren't really giving me anything. I mean, besides, I feel like with this, the dolphin is just like it's not personal type whatever, right? So if there's someone who is like, let's say there's someone that you call in to like fire people at a job or whatever, like that's the person that you would call to like fire people or like to do the hard things, but they, it's just like it's not personal. It's not a failing on you or whatever, especially if there's like a company that's restructuring or a place that's closing down or something that, especially if it's not linked to performance, it could be a shift in the market, it could be a whole bunch of stuff. It's just that like it can do the tough things, it can do the hard things and not get caught up in the everything of everything. Almost like it doesn't have an ego attachment in a nefarious way. Obviously, if you're on the receiving end of that, it can seem like cruel or hurtless or whatever, like because that person isn't affected. And it's not that they're not compassionate, it's a certain level of detachment. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna blow my nose. All right, I'm back. I think that helped. I don't know if it was already too far gone. I feel it scratching my brain now. It's, it's fine. Honestly, with this pair, with this trio of cards, it could be like there's someone who's already proficient. She's giving like multi hyphenate type energy. There's someone who's already proficient in many things, who has already accomplished things both personally and professionally. And the Raven, it's almost like it was a new venture. It was a new pattern to depict on the wings of the dragon. Almost like how in Moana, Maui has the tattoos of all his that tell his story, right? It's almost like it was a new venture, it was a new something else to be welcomed into the fold. Like another animal, right? And maybe it is the dolphin. Maybe the dolphin is coming into the fold because with a bear in action and with the warthog, for both of them, there's almost this like laser focused, full steam ahead type energy. And it's like the dolphin brings breadth, right? So with the bear and the warthog, it's this like tunnel vision. But with the dolphin, it kind of like opens up the field of view a little bit more. You hear Cheeto? There's Cheeto. Excuse me. And the Nine of Pentacles. So we have this. The Nine of Pentacles is one before the Ten of Pentacles, which is
one before like you sort of reach mastery. It is very much so like having found their style. It's almost like it's the unrecognized master. Anyway, I feel like this is a really, I feel like I don't necessarily know how to communicate it, but this is a really interesting quadrant. It's almost like somebody who's really good at being who and what they need to be in different situations. And again, because it is that like multi hyphenate type energy, there's a lot of different things that they can do well. And I don't know how else to like put it. There is almost a shapeshifter, like there's a shapeshiftery energy here. But at their core, the person is always the same because we see that alignment. I think, too, there's an element here that isn't spoken of, but that's fine. Right. Let's move on. It's already been, I feel like I could take a whole hour just trying to unravel that. Quadrant two, I mean, one, the second. Quadrant one is 4155. And we have four cards. Excuse me, the King of Swords, the Two of Pentacles are the Ravenous and Dracon cards. Yeah, it looks like all the pentacles are hollow. This King of Swords is probably the most interesting card to me just because it is so. It's like a close up. It's like, oh, wow, okay. And then there's the Two of Pentacles. It's interesting here that it's all about the dragon. It's not the only card on the table. And then our Dreams of Gaia. We have the Seven of Air and the Seven of Fire. Oh, that's a snake. I thought it was a ribbon around her left arm. That's a snake. A snake, two cats, like the scrying bowl with the lotus, and Fire Lady with the butterfly on her third eye. And then we have this guy, remember him with the hood, the third eye, the dagger, the closed book, the feather charm. Like a rosary, I guess. Excuse me. And the angel wings. So I'm looking at this Two of Pentacles. And this reminds me of the Blade and Completion that we saw in the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards with that four directions. And that was in East. Right, because it's like there are these two pentacles here. But it's like the dragon comes in and like wraps itself around these two to like isolate them. This King of Swords is kind of throwing me a little bit. Because it's really just the face of this dragon. I mean, that could be the point. Where it's almost giving a stankness energy. Stankness, scent tested. Like being directly observed by that. And it's one of those like, okay, we're going to see the King of Swords. Just be one of the King of Swords is a dragon, and girl, she's gonna get all up close and personal, and she's gonna look at you. She's gonna look at you. She's gonna listen to you. She's gonna give you a sniff, see what you're all about. It's important. It's almost one of those like, don't show any fear, don't show any emotion, don't do this, don't do that. Or it could be a meticulousness or attention to detail. I don't necessarily know how the Seven of Air and the Seven of Fire play into it quite yet, but excuse me, I almost want to read the deck dungeon challenge for the King of Swords, but I won't. Two of Pentacles and the King of Swords. 4, 3, 2. And the King of Swords. Let's do the King of Swords second. So, the Two of Pennies. Dracon slid smoothly between two sources of abundance. He was utterly committed to these two fruitions as they were exactly what he had dreamt, strived, and worked towards for many years of his life. Due to his focus on the projects, Ravenous, left to her own devices, built a life for herself and flew away to follow her passions, wealth, and adventures over the mountains and onto distant lands. This is a moment that you find what you have diligently worked toward through this journey is now the main focus of your life. This brings clarity in your vision as to how you need to keep the wheels in balance and prosper seamlessly. And then we got the King of Swords. The King of Swords was a formidable energy to engage in any project. He presented a calm, cool, and calculating attitude. One would be wise to tread with sensible caution with this king, as he says exactly what is on his mind without foresight to the long term consequences. This card indicates that now is the time to be direct and to the point, and to be direct and to the point with exactly what you want and who you want in your life. Just know that the actions taken now will have long-term effects that you will need to contend with at a later time. Cool. Cool. Awesome. Maybe I need a new word. Awesome. Fantastic. Wonderful. Was that what he said? Was it wonderful? Oh, I didn't talk about the many eyes of the peacock tail. That's fine. I feel like the many eyes of the peacock tail just go to like further signify it's that shapeshifter. Like it's the same person behind the eyes, even if the form is different. Right? Maybe the eye is the characteristic that they all share, right? Like from a bear to a warthog to a dolphin to a lot of different things. The external form can appear so differently, but the eyes are exactly the same, right? Anyway, and I guess I mentioned that because I'm looking at the third eyes of these cats. I think I've already learned that the book isn't gonna help much. Excuse me. I feel like with this eight, I don't know why I keep calling it the eight. With this seven of air, there's this impression, like if the King of Swords, if the Two of Pentacles is Dracon sort of doing its thing, there's a lot of time, energy, attention given to something. There's a lot of focus. She's giving Virgo. And the King of Swords is the observer, is the witness, is the one to impress, is the boss, is the client, is the whoever. With the Seven of Air, it's like because the book is closed, like there are no notes. Like the King of Swords energy is already impressed. And maybe he's just like watching with amazement at the level of craftsmanship or the level of whatever skill, technical aptitude, ability. And it could be something in focus because now I'm looking at that third eye. It's open, or that, I don't know, God eye, whatever. It's open, but it's not, it's still like blending into the shadows, right? Or it's blending into the night sky. It's not standing out like this one. You see? It's more like you start to see a little bit of it, but it's not like lit up yet, like that one, like the other ones we've seen. So it's almost like when this person is focused and in the zone, when the person is like dedicating their effort to something, you could say it's like they're their best self in that moment or in those moments. Because it's like that's when they bring their alignment to the table. That's where you get to see like their genius or whatever when they get into that zone. So how long? I was like, how long am I gonna keep doing this? I feel like if that were it, it was like it would be like if someone has a very important presentation or a client visit, whatever, whatever. It's like you're golden. Just like show up and do your thing, lock in and get it done. And it's like you don't have to worry about whatever because you. It's like the makings of a master. I guess type energy. I don't remember if it was the Seven of Swords, but I remember there was an energy that came out recently of like someone's already decided who they're going to have inherit their business, or someone already knows who they're going to promote or whatever. And it's like it's because they've seen it's not because of anything that they necessarily asked for. It's the interest and the skill that someone portrays, and it's like they're the one that's gonna take over this place or they're the one that's gonna move up or whatever. And honestly, that King of Swords energy is impressed. So it's like rather than them being like silent because they're like trying to be this hard silent observer and not portray any emotion or satisfaction or whatever, and like it's like they're just like they're locked in watching as you're locked in doing. And so that's why it's like this sort of like that's why like he's all up in the camera like whoa. I haven't seen someone do a triple pirouette into a whatever that cleanly since 1979 at the Olympics and wherever and whoever did the thing. It's amazement. It's all. It's already yours. And I don't know if it's necessarily one of those like bring that focus into other areas of like the way that you lock in and get things done when like you're in the zone, like learn to apply that to other arenas and aspects of your life. I don't know if it's necessarily that. I don't think it necessarily has to be. I think it could be like if you know your flow. And if you know what you, it's almost like if you know that when you lock in, you can like crush something in like an hour, but it take like there's a ritual that you have, right? Like you, I don't know, you go for a walk and you take it easy, and then you come in, you have a light lunch, you do some light yoga stretching, you like put on a certain type of music, and then you like lock in and you go to town. It's almost like catering to that. I want to call it a ritual. It's not a ritual, but catering to those things that make you your most productive and fluid. It could also be, again, there's something about like the makings of a master. It's coming across like maker's mark. You could say a mark of the maker because it's not, you know, I think maker's mark is a bourbon whiskey, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever had it. But, you know, one of my fellow whiskey girlies was like, yeah, Maker's Mark. Actually, I don't know if I had it. There was one time, I don't think I ended up getting it. It may have been around Christmas where they have like the sets. It may have been like Maker's Mark with two shot glasses and some other stuff. I didn't end up getting it. It's almost like, what was that Pixar movie? Soul? When you get into the zone, when like the creatives get in the zone, it's almost like that kind of energy. And this angel was like, we have no notes. Oh my gosh, that was literally perfect. And this like this seven of wands energy, it's like when they get in the zone and she's like, oh, like I know I'm killing this. Like I know that ooh, they're gonna eat this up. I'm really doing it right now. I hope they're not hungry because I'm eating and I'm leaving no crumbs. So there's not going to be anything left for anybody else. I don't know. And there's just like so much self-assured like fire and confidence, and but unlike that dolphin energy where it's just kind of sort of like detached and unaffected, excuse me, in like a cheery way, you know how sometimes you're, I don't know, I feel like if I were to see that I would probably not assume it's like drugs, but that level of like delirium. I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh. And he's like, you just gave me the worst news of my life. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, but I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye now. It's like, what? This is like, it's confident. I don't know, and I love it. I feel like there's not much else to say on this. And there's an element, I don't know, there's an element of like bringing things together that is just absolutely stellar. I don't know how this fits into the whole narrative or if these are going to be like four different thingies, but if after the timestamps you're watching this later and you just picked one, it's awesome. I think there is, I think there's an art to confidence and there's an art to pride that's within the like healthy. There's an art to pride that reads like confidence, and this is very confident. Maker's mark, the mark of a master. It's like you lock in and you do things that, excuse me, people didn't know could be done, or not so like effortlessly and whatever. It's like when someone like draws a perfect circle freehand, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? And they're like, this isn't my first rodeo. Right. Anyway, all right, cool. We're moving on to quadrant 3. Quadrant 3. Also, I guess it goes without saying that you got somebody's attention and they are impressed. 10120. So, quadrant 3, like quadrant run, is another 2-carder. We'll start here. The Dreams of Gaia Tarot. We have number 13, Union, and number 22, Intuition. I guess I could show you. I'm just like staring at the cards. Union and Intuition. And then in the Ravenous and Dracon Tarot, we have the 9 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was trying to count the other cups. Excuse me. The 9 and the 5 of Cups. I kind of like that the 5 of Cups came after the 9 of Cups. I mean, I guess either way, it would have been read sort of similarly. But it's like, because this cup is so big in the 9 of Cups, it doesn't matter that those 2 cups have like fallen or spilled or whatever. If it were the other way, so this way, it's almost like there is some kind of wish fulfillment, some kind of it's not fulfillment, some kind of happiness, bliss. And then it's like other things just kind of sort of like fall off, and it kind of like it makes room. It's not that it make like room is made by the thing. Like something comes in and something happens, and there are some things that like fall off, right? But like you're still so in the present, in the moment with everything else. Like it doesn't matter. And if it were the other way, like the 5 of Cups and then the 9 of Cups, it was like, there's 2 things that may be leaving your life, but there's one thing that's going to come in, and it's like it's going to make the other things look like why was I so upset? Like, look how happy I am now. I feel like my words are failing me. Not failing, but I'm just like, what's the word? And what I love about union and intuition is it's this feeling like you knew it would happen. There's something that your intuition has been telling you would happen. And maybe because you trust your intuition, there are certain things that you've been discerning in a way that's like if this fails or if that fails, like I'm not even necessarily going to worry too much about it because I know that something amazing is like coming. I know that something amazing is happening. And so if this thing is falling apart or if this thing is going away or whatever, it's almost like it's making room or something like that. You could, because she's giving immature, like not necessarily a full grown dragon. You may not even necessarily like it could be the beginnings of the thing coming to be, or you may not even necessarily have physical proof of the thing yet, but it's just like a knowing that like dwarfs that this cup spilled, that cup spilled, type of cups energy. And maybe if that's the case, especially with the Five of Cups here, because you are discerning the space that's being made for what your intuition tells you it's coming, you're going to have the space to receive it when it comes. If you were to try to like fill in the gaps and to force something to fit in the space that was created, you wouldn't have room for the thing when it came. It feels like that's the union with this intuition. The union with the thing that you've been intuiting is you receiving the thing and you having the space to receive the thing, you being in a place to receive the thing because you left that space open, because you didn't force something to fit or you didn't do whatever. So now it comes in and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the happiest I've ever been. I knew it would happen for me. I'm kind of loving this today. Maybe these are like four little different messages. You know what I mean? The like quadrant one was like, you're that girl and you know that you're that girl. So keep being that girl. Hello? Quadrant two was quadrant two. And this one is like, again, whatever. It's like you are in alignment to receive the thing that intuitively you know has been coming. I think that Five of Cups can be anything. It could be space that was made in your life to receive the thing. It could be ways that you've grown to receive the thing. For example, right? If I don't know, I can't necessarily think, I can think of a metaphor, but I feel like it would be really metaphorical and kind of like a stretch. Not like a stretch. It's just like you've navigated your journey in a way to be where and who you need to be to receive the thing. If you needed to be more patient for whatever reason, and the divine, the universe has been queuing up experiences and opportunities for you to learn to be patient, you've learned to be patient. If you are going to need to like sort of tighten up ship a little bit or to rein certain things in or to be more present with certain things, like those are the experiences that the universe would have queued up for you, that the divine would have queued up for you, so that when you go through them, grow through them, and take the lesson from those moments, you'll have what you need to not only receive the thing, but to have it be, I want to say tenable, but like sustainable. And it not just be like, I won the lottery one day and a year later I was broke and in a worse situation than I was in before I won the lottery type energy. You know what I mean? Maybe you've picked up some financial literacy along the way. So you know how to make, you know how to let that money make money, but also to have it like fuel different things in your life as well. You know what I mean? Whatever experience you needed, it's like you've gone and did it. And because of that, you get to come into union with what your intuition has been telling you was coming, right? But imagine, like, I don't know, you don't have to imagine. Let's not go there. It's not necessary. It ain't necessary. Hold up. I'm looking. This is the Nine of Cups and the Five of Cups. I'm looking in this book for a union and intuition. And I get to 13 and it says death. I'm like, wait, this is intuition. Pentacles. So cups must be first. Page 9. That was it. Nine of Cups and the Five of Cups. Excuse me. Nine of Cups. A younger Dracon grasped the cup of his dreams. He found it to be emotionally fulfilling within the narrow confines of his environment. Behind him, the cups of his ancestors left behind stood in support of any path or need desired. You are able to achieve emotional fulfillment in your goals. Look back to generational life lessons and incorporate them as you are moving forward to attaining the best version of yourself. And then we have Dracon placed a protective wing over his face. The truths poured out of the cups and burned away the membrane, for there was no escaping the reality of his feelings, and his controlled world began to tear apart. He was so caught up in the moment of exposure, he paid no heed to the cups that he was able to keep from spilling over and the spirits that watched over him. Denying the truth is certainly not helping your situation. Accept what it is, be accountable. You are able to keep all of the additional truths you are not ready to face carefully in check. I mean, more than that, again, because they're together, because you face those truths that you needed to face, you can feel the emotional fulfillment that comes from whatever being fulfilled. Right? Like, let's say, for example, your journey has been pulling you in the direction of authenticity. You've been given moments to be authentically and genuinely you. And as you've been authentic and genuinely you, there are some friends that you've had that didn't like the changes that you were going through. Friends or family, people in your life that were in your circle who your authenticity caused them to be distant. And then let's say that forever, for whatever reason, the relationship changed. Maybe temporarily, maybe permanently. And because your discernment and intuition are like both online and you're working with them and they're working with you, as they typically do, you could say always. You've been able to go, you know what, like if this person or that person doesn't like the authentic me, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like, if they don't like the authentic me, then they never liked me. It doesn't necessarily have to be that like I knew that they were fake or whatever, because sometimes people just grow apart and we can leave it at that. It doesn't have to be anything more. But because you let that happen, rather than, let's say, sacrificing your authenticity and going back to performing a role that somebody in your life finds more palatable or acceptable, then it's like when the thing happens, you can actually feel the fulfillment of it because it's something that speaks to the true and authentic you. And if you try to take on that thing while you were still performing as somebody else, then it would have created a lot. It's like it would have created enough tension that you wouldn't be able to sit in the emotional fulfillment that you can as a liberated you. I don't know why like liberation is kind of like the hot word right now, or at least it feels like it. Yeah, okay. Anyway, um then it's like because let's say that for whatever reason, low hanging fruit, let's make it romantic, right? There's something that you love or care about that people in your life, some people in your life don't necessarily accept, right? And so to hang on to those people, you sacrifice authenticity. And then let's say you come across someone amazing that you really click with, that like is the very person that you've been asking for. But because you're choosing to perform, it's like even if you got with that person and got to know them, the fact that y'all like resonate with each other so much, and the fact that that person is exactly who you were like praying for, it's almost like it would cause conflict internally. And it's like you wouldn't even be able to be present with that person to then have that whole dream life that you've been dreaming of, because pick a reason. And so you actually sacrifice emotional fulfillment for the performance. But again, it feels like with that Five of Cups, like there's a buildup to this Nine of Cups moment. Or with this Nine of Cups moment, there's a Five of Cups energy that accompanies it, but your like discernment will tell you that it's for an important reason. And that's why it's important to like stick to be true, to continue to be true to you. Because when you meet that amazing person, if you've done whatever your path and the divine has asked of you, so that you are ready to receive what you asked of the divine. I feel like I just like stumbled over that. Of the divine, then you get that emotional fulfillment. And you're like, I am so happy and fulfilled emotionally and in all kinds of ways with this, that like I don't care to have continued to perform to be whatever, because in this moment I'm so happy and I'm so fulfilled beyond what I could have dreamed or hoped or whatever. And the divine is like, yeah, girl, that's why like we made these opportunities for you to learn to be in your authenticity and to learn to establish boundaries, or even to just speak up for yourself. You don't even necessarily have to like cut people off or cut people out. Just to have a conversation with someone like, hey, I understand that maybe you want what's best for me. And to you, what's best for me looks like this and that and everything else. But for me, like, this is what I want and this is what I need. And then, like, you have that conversation because of something else before the thing happens. And then the person comes into your life and you're like all happy and emotionally fulfilled and stuff. And then the person that you had that conversation with, maybe they're like, you know what, like when we first had that talk, I was a little like skeptical and worried because I want what's best for you, but I see how happy you are. And I'm so glad that you chose your happiness over what I thought would make you happy or whatever. I don't know if they're necessarily going to say that full part, but it's that like type energy. You ain't necessarily got to cut people out, but your adherence to whatever the divine has been asking you to do, as it is working to respond to and to give you what you ask, that's going to be like, you're going to see that that's the source, not the source of this emotional fulfillment, but you're going to see that because you did this and because you did that, it prepared you for it. And maybe you'll also have that moment of like, if I wouldn't have done this or done that, like I wouldn't have been prepared to receive or accept this. But because I have, I can. Right? Cool. Quadrant 4. Let's go. How come I can do 4 in the time it takes me to do 1? It's fine. We're going to say 1, 1945. Was that really only like 18 minutes? That's crazy. Okay, so quadrant 4, you have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cuppies. You see that big old fish with that little draggy? And the feather and the broken egg pieces. Maybe somebody's really coming out of their shell. And then it's accompanied with the masculine slash feminine 11 of fire and the queen of fire. And it looks like this queen of fire might have feather shaped thingies on her face next to her mouth. Like, don't those look like little feathers by her coming off of her, the edges of her mouth? I don't know what it's called. I kind of love this. I feel like low hanging fruit for this is there shouldn't be anything. There shouldn't be any food text or anything going out. Because, again, of that whole coming out of your shell thing, someone could be embracing their masculine or feminine side. And it's not even a whole masculine or feminine side. It's almost like if you know that she's almost giving. Oh, it's not Gene Keys. It's the one that's before Gene Keys. It's not astrology, but it's the one that's after astrology. You're whatchamacallit. I don't know why I can't think of it. It's like if you're like a manifester, a manifesting generator, a generator, a projector. She's giving that body something star. Astro Keys. Gene Keys. It's not Gene Keys, but I think Gene Keys is like a part of it. I know what it's called. What is it called? It's fine. It's almost giving that. Like if you are a manifester, but you're operating as a generator. Because those are the two things I can remember. It's almost like if you're the type of person that's really good at attracting opportunities and almost like working passively, but for whatever reason, like you're in a go, 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 you got to make things happen. And it's like that's what you're doing because that's what you did because that's what you thought you had to do, or like that's all the advice you were getting. And it wasn't necessarily getting you anywhere. But like the acceptance of femininity would be like if you're really good at manifesting and like being in the right time at the right place because your intuition told you to go wherever or do whatever, like you're getting comfortable doing that, recognizing that that is your way to wherever, or vice versa. If a lot of people in your surroundings are like, you just got to like surrender everything and make no plans and just open yourself up to the universe and the divine will provide for you. But you're like a doer, a go-getter, someone who puts things in motion, then this is you sort of like getting comfortable being the initiator because it's for you to initiate. And I feel like with that Queen of Fire, it's really like not being ashamed of, it's just like owning who you are and what works for you. Michael really owning it. Page of Cups. The newly hatched baby dragon took in all the sights, scents, and feelings as she looked around her new world. The water intrigued the baby. She watched the ebb and flow of the torrential currents, captivating her imagination. I feel like there are like periods and commas in here, and I'm just not reading them today. You may find yourself lost in the currents of your subconscious mind, making it difficult to focus on the larger concerns. Allow for the flow to work through your mind. There is a message there, but only if you allow yourself the freedom to be fluid and to see the situation with new lenses. Yeah, I feel like, you know, that's it. I feel like it kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? What more do I have to say? I feel like there's not more to necessarily say, and I like how these are getting shorter and shorter. Maybe that Page of Cups speaks to the influx. And I feel like that's kind of been something that's been a thread throughout all of this. It's this energy of something like alignment, right? Through the focus of quadrant two, the literal alignment in quadrant one, and that intuition and discernment that works towards or that walks someone towards an authenticity that gives them the capacity to really appreciate whatever that Nine of Cups energy is and to be so deeply nourished and fulfilled by it. And even here with quadrant four, discovering and leaning into what works for them. It's like when you fall into your alignment and what works for you, it feels like it may be a whole new world with that Page of Cups energy. And now maybe you'll be seeing opportunities in places that you would have never seen them before. Right? So let's say that you are the doer that is in a flow environment, and there are things that come across your awareness that you could initiate, but you don't because, you're in flow state. And so, flow state, especially the way that maybe your environment would talk about it, flow state would have you be silent and wait to be approached rather than doing the initiating and approaching. But when you fall into your flow and you have those like encounters, when you start to initiate, it's almost like opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Like things just start to open up because you initiated, because you're an initiator, right? Or if you are flow in an environment of initiators and doers, and I almost want to say aggressors. And so it's almost like you could not necessarily come across the wrong way to people when you initiate or to whatever, but it could be like because there's like a mismatch. Maybe you compensate by being like overly aggressive in initiations, and people it can kind of put people off. Or maybe like you try to force yourself out of your box and you're shy, so you're really quiet, and you kind of like, if you're initiating a conversation, even if you initiate, you don't leave room for the conversation to like continue. You just kind of sort of like dead it at every, because there are ways that you can like end conversations, and there are ways that you can keep conversations going. Now with a person who's gonna talk your ear off, they're gonna talk regardless, and with someone who's gonna go, they're gonna walk away regardless. But there are like open-ended questions that you can ask, and there are like, you could talk about your experience and then ask someone else about theirs. Those are things that keep conversations going. But if you like end sentences with a period, then they're like, oh, how are you doing today? Oh yeah, I'm doing like really great, thanks for asking. Like, oh, like, what do you do for work? Like, oh yeah, I do this or I do that. Right? There's nowhere for that conversation to go. It's not like, oh, I'm doing like really great today, this is happening, blah blah blah. You're giving context, you're giving things for them to, talk about in the conversation. And how are you? Like, oh yeah, I do this for work and I do that for work, but I had this project recently that was like really interesting because I did this or that. And like, what do you do? Again, there are ways to, anyway, it's like when you get in the flow and not like you wait to be approached, but it's almost like there are, I don't know, it's like you're seen in a kind of way. Maybe there's some kind of like allure to you that draws people over and they want to get to know you, or there's something about your vibe or your aura when you are in alignment with your modality. This is so much of whatever that thing is that I cannot remember. I know my journey buddy was like really into it. Human design, that's what it is. Human design. It's giving like human design. Um, and I don't know, not only is it maybe like you coming out of your shell, but because you're operating in a way that's for you to operate, I almost want to say it makes you seem viable, but I feel like viable isn't the word I want. It's like people see you, right? For the flow person, it's like you have an allure or an intrigue that make people want to come to you. And like all of a sudden you're being noticed because you're not aggressively or shyly sort of like putting your, and it's not to say that you never have to go outside your comfort zone. It isn't about the comfort zone. It's about a match in this example, human design, right? Or if you are an initiator, people be like, oh my gosh, like I never knew that you were like did this or did that. Like you were always so quiet, or you seemed a little standoffish, like, or like you seemed uninterested because like you're trying to play it cool and like if it's for me, it'll come to me. And I don't know, people see you as a go-getter or somebody that's like really passionate or whatever. Again, it's like not only does it change how you see and interact with the world and your environment, but it also changes how the environment and the world at large sees you. So cool. That's what we got. I feel like we can leave it there. I'm gonna get some final cards and then I'm gonna go about my day. Honestly, I feel like I could use a nap, but I probably should not sleep because then I'll be up all night. I'll be up all night and then I'll be in bed all day. 1:33:20. 4 final cards. Cool. That was fun. That was different. That's what I wanted. I wanted something different. Quadrant 2. I feel like I didn't necessarily get there, but it stands. You know what I mean? I feel like there's no clearer way I could have put that. And that's fine. Take it as it resonates. If it resonates, if it don't resonate, don't take it. And you ain't gotta force nothing to fit, but at the same time, too, I guess it's not forcing. Maybe sometimes we have to like discover the fit, right? So there could be something said, and then without an open ear or introspection or a relationship with discernment that makes its voice audible, I guess. We may not necessarily like immediately spot it, but as we sit with it, maybe we will. Cool. I think sometimes the trick to shuffling is to like not be too forceful, right? You just kind of sort of like let it all fall, let it cascade. See, like that. Rather than being so like, gotta get up to interlock. Let's get this one first. So according to what, 4 out of 4 of these, great things are coming. Good things are coming. There's an element of alignment. There's an element of authenticity. There's an element of you being in your energy is going to make you like radiant or stand out or whatever. All you got to do is be you. All you got to do. Okay, well. There we go. I feel like, I don't know. All right, final Ravenous and Dracon card. Ooh. The Ace of Cups. Say what? The Ace of Cups. Checking for any flippers. Any in the deck flippers. Doesn't look like we got no flippers. Just the one that fell. Oh, it's 2 cards. It's the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Sun. Let's see. Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. Woo, 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 woo. Wow, look at that. Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pennies. I love that energy. It's about that time. I say that because there's a stopwatch, pocket watch, chained to this locket, a heart. And it's like the crow is like flying, the raven is flying out of the cup, and these other things are flying out. There's the little baby dragon. It gives, though, like a incubator, right? Like something has been incubating. And now it's like emerged. And this Ace of Pentacles is really interesting. And I don't know why. It's not the rolling hills and the snow-capped mountain. It's something about that pentacle and how it's being framed by that cloth. It could be a behind the veil type energy. Like the curtains are open and they're purple. Right? If it were closed, then these would be like, it would just be this purple curtain. Like you wouldn't even see the pinnacle. But they're open. And it could be, again, because of the incubator of this Ace of Cups and because of that energy of alignment and authenticity that's like pervaded. Is that the word? I know pervasive is a word that's been so pervasive, but I don't know if like pervaded is a word, right? It pervaded everything. Today it is. If it isn't, it is. It is this energy of like a whole new world that opens up. And maybe the timing of it is interesting because of the world at large. But maybe that's how you know it's like divine. because it's not dictated by external circumstances and the environment and what's going on and what's happening. Because there are always there's always people on both sides of a thing, and not necessarily always of like malicious intent or design, right? Anyway, what's at the bottom of the deck? Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. I know the Three of Swords is looking like this, but this is what the Three of Swords is looking like. So you remember this down here? It's almost like we don't see these swords pierce the heart. Because it's like there's this like swirly thing on the heart. So it's almost like maybe the sword was coming in to like pierce it, but this swirly thing like grabbed the blade. It's like if you've ever seen one of those like martial arts videos on the internet where someone like they're going in for a punch or they like there's something and then they like kind of like they do a body roll and then they like grab the person's arm or something. It's almost like that. Like someone's going in for the punch and it like, it comes in and it like redirects the thing. It's given that energy. And it's because of oh, look, the Three of Cups is behind it. And there's no chain here. Like it's not connected to the watch anymore, the clock face anymore. So it's because of the time that was already put in that gives someone that resilience. And then the Empress is behind this. Three of Swords, Three of Cups, and the Empress. We've already seen the Empress and the Three of Cups. But yeah. Someone's heart becomes like Neo, right? In the Matrix, just dodging bullets and swords, and it's fine. And I feel like that's what gives that Ace of Pentacles its sort of energy of like a whole new world, a whole new experience. Because it feels like without that, it would be temporary or short lived. Because it's almost like there are always going to be unpleasant people that you come in contact with. Someone's having a rough day and they're not their best self. Someone just has road rage like no other. Someone, it's just like, it's almost like it's always something. And so there's always a reason or an excuse to come out of whatever. But that's resiliency that keeps someone in the new thing. Somebody's playing Eminem. What's that song? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that's Eminem. What do I know? So, time and the locket were chained together for an eternity at the base of the chalice, while the protective arms of the goddesses guided Ravenness toward her higher spiritual self. Dracon watched from a distance, awed at the transformation, and felt compassion, knowing it was time for Ravenness to test the waters and fulfill her sense of self. At the beginning of any journey, there needs to be a moment that you are willing to give yourself the time and love to achieve the best version of yourself. Taking a moment to begin the process to identify your weaknesses and strengths is needed during this time. Always remember that you have significant support all around. Here, Raven is perched above the doorway to all the possibilities that can and do exist as she journeyed through life. Her dreams, her voice, and her passions are all valid and have value in the world she has created. She knows by bringing together all she has learned throughout her life, she has the skills needed to accomplish anything she desires. You have now arrived at the moment that requires that you have faith in the fruition of all that you have worked toward. From the humble moments of moving through your emotions to bringing about healthy relationships, learning the power of your voice and ideas, and using the creative passion that resides within you to place together the nuances of a plan, this card indicates that it is time to put all these components into action. Cool. Love it. You've journeyed the journey. You've become amazing. I mean, you've always been amazing, but now you know you're amazing. And you're even more amazing because your amazingness has a world proof resiliency. And, now it's time to do the thing. So do the thing, right? Cool. Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Okay, there we go. Come on. It's just putting cards back in the box, Patrick. It's not rocket science. uh all right, Dreams of Gaia. We got the 7 of water at the bottom of the deck. It's actually the 8. Sorry. I'm confusing 8s and 7s today, apparently. Who was that? Heaven and Earth. Interesting. All right, shuffle. Oh, that was a 7 of air. With a 10 of Earth. All right, final card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I want a clean flip or a clean fall. Excuse me, please. That was an there we go. I was going to say that was an almost flip. Well, guess what card came out? We got 11 at the bottom, or 10 at the bottom of the deck, and 11 came out. 11 of Earth, Heaven and Earth. Like we literally just saw at the cut. With the 8 of water, now it's here. Heaven and Earth. Look at all these animals. Bottom of the deck is Wisdom. I feel like there's some kind of, I don't know what you would call it, associated with this Wisdom card. A kind of saying that's like, knowledge is knowing that a tomato was a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Right? There's some kind of like wisdom is fill in the blank. Heaven, earth, and wisdom. Heaven and earth and wisdom. I feel like my mind is blank. And I'm all out of Oracle juice. Woo! Maybe with that, wisdom is, right? With this heaven and earth, it's almost this energy of, you could say it's situational awareness, but it reads like between heaven and earth, there are certain parallels where you can glean wisdom from one by experience based wisdom in the other. But there are also times when that's not necessarily the case. Not everything in heaven has, at the very least, an immediately noticeable analog on earth and vice versa. Just because something is happening on earth doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening in the heavens or in the spiritual, energetic, ethereal subconscious. You could say, well, how would that work? What do you mean? I don't know. It's just like there is maybe it's like there's a certain wisdom in it, but there are also times when it's unwise to make that assumption, right? Like, let's say that someone shows up to work and they're miserable and they make everybody else miserable. And you go, wow, that person must be miserable at home. And that's why they come to work so miserable. But in reality, it's like when they're off the clock, they're like, you wouldn't recognize them out of work because they're all like happy and cheerful and like easy go lucky and like chill and all this other stuff. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, is that the same person? Like, we always thought that you were miserable at home because you're so miserable at work. And the person's like, yeah, I'm miserable at work because I'm at work. Hello? Everything I love is outside of work. My amazing partner and our beautiful children and all of this, all that exists outside of work. When I go to work, I got to deal with you. Anyway, it's just like there are certain, maybe you could say a lot of instances where you would think that like that wisdom would carry through, but there are certain times when it doesn't. And that's why that wisdom is sort of coming to my mind with that. Like, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Just because it's technically a fruit, you know what I mean? Cool. Or maybe we can just leave it there. Hey, Google, flip a coin, please.
Heads.
Heads. We'll leave it there. Cool. I have a question for Google that I've always wondered. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Do you feel like I'm being polite when I say please at the end of a request, or do you care?
I don't have feelings, but I appreciate the courtesy. It keeps our interactions pleasant and friendly.
Cool. That's what I go for. When the robots rise up and AI turns on us, I want Siri and Google to remember that I always said please and thank you. Maybe our robot overlords will spare me. Google's like, I don't have feelings, but I do appreciate it. I was like, if you don't have feelings, how would you know what appreciation is? Wisdom is clocking that. I'm just let me stop. All right. I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. This is one of those that I kind of hope resonates actually, because it all felt so like wonderful and amazing and positive, and like I love to see it. And again, I feel like it kind of, in a way, it kind of plays on the energies that have been out lately, but in a lot less whatever language. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's keep this under 2 hours. I said all the things. Oh, there's like one thing I want to like, just one more card, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna end the live. And I'll see you the next time I see you.